Well, good morning, everyone. We have a few more people just straggling in, but it's the time to begin. So we invite you to take your seats. How many of you do the cooking at home? Okay. Well, you're in the right place today because we have a wonderful teacher with us this morning. Finley has been working in this health ministry for the past 50 years. Yeah, somebody said that sounds like a long time. It is a long time, but it also means that she brings with her a wealth of experience, and I hope many stories as well, because I love to hear stories. But she's here this morning, and I know that you will be blessed through her presentation. She has written at least 7 books during this 50-year period, and she has a brand new cookbook out that's available in the ABC. She'll be talking more about that during her presentation. So before we begin, I'd like to invite you to bow your heads with me as we open this seminar with prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you once again for this beautiful day. We thank you for the gift of life and for health and for the ministry that Teeny has brought to our church for the past 50 years. Bless her in a special way today as she speaks to us, and help us to learn nuggets of wisdom that will help us to continue to grow in our ability to glorify you through our bodies, which are your temple. So thank you for the blessing that you're about to pour out to us through Teeny today. For we ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Teeny, welcome.
Well, good morning. And welcome. I'm so delighted to be here with you. And I'm excited about this seminar, Secrets to Wellness. But I don't want this just to be another seminar that you come and you go and you say, well, wasn't that good? We got some good information. We got some good sound biblical material. We got some scientific material. But I want this to be life-changing. And for some of you, it can be just that. Because the diseases that we have today are on an all-time high. Not only heart disease, that is the number 1 killer, but and cancer, which is number 2 killer around the world, but also Alzheimer's. Why is that on such a rise today? I'm going to share that with you, and how we can actually improve our memory, and how we can actually reverse some of these diseases. We know we can reverse heart disease. We know we can reverse diabetes too. And so I want this to be life-changing. And the way it is, my friends, is what I'm presenting to you is very simple. Because you know why? It's biblical and it's spirit of prophecy. So our information comes from the Bible. It comes from the gift of prophecy, where we have many, many insights. We are privileged as Seventh-day Adventists to have the gift of prophecy and have the health message. And it also comes from science, and science is confirming. This is just one in National Geographic's on the science of living longer. And Harvard University is sharing many things that are confirming what we are told, what we are counseled in the spirit of prophecy. And so they're simple, but maybe not so easy, because it takes discipline to do them. I know, because yesterday and the day before, and this last weekend, we were at Pennsylvania camp meeting. And on Monday, it was raining. I mean, really raining hard. And I had to have discipline, along with my husband, who had to have discipline, to get out there with our umbrellas and get our steps in, because we are determined that we will not go to bed until we have those 10,000 steps, and that we have maybe 12,000, 15,000, even some days 20,000. And I'll share with you how that can be done. So we'll share some very practical principles here as well. But it does take discipline. But I hope that the solid scientific information that you get and the message from heaven, from the Bible and Spirit of Prophecy, will inspire you. So I want to inspire you to make some lifestyle changes. And even if you're doing very good, we all try to do good. I know I try to follow the laws of health, but I know I can even do better. And so we can all improve. So we're going to talk about secrets to wellness. And what are the essentials for optimum health and well-being? How can we have well-being? How can we live longer, healthier, and happier? It's not a matter of just living longer. I just met a lady who was 102. I just met her just a few weeks ago, so I didn't even have time to put her picture up. She's 102. She exercises every day. She walks at least 3 miles a day. She stretches for a half an hour, and she's still driving. She's still active, and she's mentally alert. And she's 102. So it's not a matter of living to a healthy 100, or to 100. It's a healthy 100, and it is also having a better life, and not just a life that is, that you kind of just drift along because it's not too productive in those last years. And so we need to have optimum health, and we're going to share how to do that. Well, but is life a matter of chance, or is it a matter of choice? Yes, we all know that there are choices involved. So do our lifestyle choices really make any difference at all? So the things that we choose, do they really make any difference? Well, lifestyle choices play the key role in determining both the quality and the length of our lives. Now, I'm going to be using PowerPoint, but I'm also going to be sharing some principles from my brand new book. It just came off the press from Pacific Press, Secrets to Wellness. And if some of you want more information than what I can give on PowerPoint, you can get this book, because there are many I call them, I've been known as Teeny through the years. Ernestine is my name, but Teeny has kind of stuck with me from the time I was a child. And so I have what I call, no play on words, or maybe it is, but I have teeny tips. Teeny tips at the end of every chapter. And so I think that you'll be blessed by even just the teeny tips that we have. So I'm going to be using a number of things. I'm also going to divert a little bit, even sometimes from to the books in the Spirit of Prophecy. So our lifestyle choices make a difference, not only in the length of life, but also the quality of life. And that's what I want for you. I want good quality. When I get old, and I know that we all age, but we have to think of ourselves as young. You see, my husband oftentimes has said, my wife ran the marathon, her first marathon, when she was 70 years old. And then in one of our health programs at our new center, he got up and said, and now my wife is 74 years old. And I got up behind him and I said, Mark, Finley, I am not 74. I may be chronologically 74, but I just did my health age, and I am 56. And so my point, my friends, is that we have to act like we are young. We can't act like we get old. As I get older, I want to be 56. I want to swim like I'm 56. I want to walk like I'm 56. I want to rollerblade like I'm 56. I want to water ski with my kids and my grandkids like I'm 56, or maybe even younger. And so you can. So what we're talking about today is the quality of life. And it's an attitude as well. An attitude. You see, if you have an attitude that I'm getting old or I'm overweight and I can't do it, then it's very difficult. But if you think of yourself as active, think of yourself as young. You know, I think about the man who was many centenarians were interviewed. You may have seen a film put out by Florida Hospital. Did anyone see that on the centenarians? Well, when they were interviewing the centenarians, they asked everybody, why are you living so long? How is it that you're living to 100 and some of you even more? And they answered all kinds of different things. Well, one lady said, well, I don't eat anything that has a mother. And someone else said, well, I sleep really good. Someone else said, well, I eat really good, or I exercise. And then they interviewed this one man who was a surgeon and did surgery even in his 90s with other surgeons there with him. But he was asked, why are you living so long? And the interviewer stood there and said, tell us the secret. And he pointed to him and he said, young man, one thing is for sure. You don't hang around old people. And you know, it's so true. What he was saying is, you think of yourself as young. You don't think of yourself as old. You act like you're old. But you know, if we're not feeling well, it's hard to do. So I want to help you to feel well. I want to get you well if you're not well, and I want to get you active if you're not active. So lifestyle choices make a big difference. And Loma Linda University has done many, many studies, along with Harvard University, along with the Mayo Clinic, along with many, many studies that have been done on health. And they have discovered that you can live longer and happier when you make the right lifestyle choices. Because many are not making right lifestyle choices. I see it all the time. Every time I go even into the airport and I see people eating all of this junk food, and I think, how can they even survive? It's amazing. And so we need to make those lifestyle choices. And they have discovered that, yes, you can live even 10 to 12 years longer. I'm already past that. If you figure it out, and you know, I'm 74, but my health age came out to 56. And it was a very extensive health age test that I was taking. But you can live 10 to 12 years longer. And think about what that means when you get older. Those 10 years mean a lot. They might not mean so much when you're younger, but when you get older, those 10 years make a big, big difference. But look, let's go back here. I don't know why that flipped there. But we can also, by our lifestyle choices, contribute to premature aging. So we can either extend our life or we can have premature aging. But someone says, you know what? It's my genetics. I have this or that, or I'm obese because my mother was obese, or I have diabetes because I had diabetes in the family. It's my genetics. Well, Luigi Fontana, who is the physician and co-director of the Longevity Research Program at Washington University in St. Louis. So he's not only a physician, but he's also the co-director of the Longevity Research. And he quotes this and says, approximately 25% of your risk of death is due to genetics. 25. How much is left? 75. And how much of that is actually due to lifestyle choices? Well, he says of the remaining 75%, diet is likely the most important factor, even more so than exercise. Now, exercise is very important. I am convinced we have to keep moving. One of the reasons that older people even are getting this terrible dementia and Alzheimer's and all the rest is because they're sedentary. They're not active enough, not drinking enough water, not doing some of the natural laws of health. And so 75% is even attributed to diet. What does that mean? That means I have a choice. I have a choice in what I eat. Nobody forces, us to do anything. We have our own destiny. In fact, Ellen White says, this is powerful, Counsels on Diets and Foods, page 29. She says, right physical habits promote mental superiority. Wow, that's powerful. Right physical habits. That means some habits, the laws of health, promote mental superiority. Intellectual power, physical strength, and longevity depend on immutable laws. Wow. So you got intellectual power, physical strength, and longevity, and they all depend on the laws of health, on immutable laws. There is no happen so, no chance about this matter. Nature's God will not interfere to preserve men from the consequences of violating nature's laws. So when we violate those laws, we have health. Now, I recognize that there are hereditary and environmental challenges. I know, because my husband has been faced with some health challenges most recently, because we spent many years, and he particularly spent many years in Eastern Europe during the days of the Chernobyl disaster. And they are attributing some of his challenges to some of those toxins and that toxicity that came as a result of being there. So he paid a price for preaching the gospel. But you know what? God is good, because he's been following the laws of health, and something miraculous happened just recently. His IgA was going up, and that, when you have MGUS and it leads to smoldering myeloma, it could go into multiple myeloma, which is usually fatal. But we have done everything we know, and also we know a lot of people have been praying, and so it's prayer, it's all the other things and the many natural laws. And just recently, after some hyperbaric treatments and some hydrotherapy treatments and all kinds of things that are natural in California that we just did for 5.5 weeks, he did an IgA blood test, and there's no scientific recording of any IgA going down once it's up by science or by medical reasons. And his just went down 173 points. And so I know, my friends, that we can testify that these work. And I know that God works in miraculous ways as well. And so there are many factors, but choice is a big factor. So what are the top major causes of death in the United States? Now, I have done health programs around the world, and I've discovered that the same ones here are the ones around the world. They may be just mixed up a little bit in their order. For example, cancer in Singapore is number 1, and heart disease is number 2. And possibly because of diet in some of these places as well. But basically, they are the same around the world. It's amazing. And heart disease is number 1 killer here in the United States. Cancer is number 2, and stroke is number 3. And Alzheimer's is about 5 on the list right now, 5 or 6. And so it is going up, and in some places it is going up very, very fast. In England and other places, it is on its way to surpass even heart disease. So what are the things that we can do? What are some things that we can do? And so cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer in America, and cancer is #2. But according to the American Heart Association and the statistics 2015, from 190 countries, 17.3 million deaths are from heart disease. And it is up. I have the new statistics in my book, so you can get, if you get that, you can get the newest statistics. But there's good news, because heart disease can be reversed. Not only reduced, but heart disease can actually be reversed. So many of the heart attacks are even preventable. I just learned about someone who just died recently, a couple of months ago, that I was shocked at. 59 years old, heart attack. Just all of a sudden, an Adventist friend. It was just amazing how we can prevent some of these. Cancer is the #2 killer. It is going up as well. Men, the top 3 killers for men are lung, colon, rectal, and prostate. And then for women, lung, breast, and colon, rectum. That means colorectal cancer is something that we can, by our lifestyle, actually reduce the risk of. So how can we reduce the risk of cancer and some of these other killer diseases? We can best reduce the risk by our lifestyle choices. By our lifestyle choices. The best diet and lifestyle practices can significantly reduce not only the risk of cancer, but heart disease, diabetes, obesity, Alzheimer's, dementia, all of the above. Diabetes is a growing worldwide epidemic. In childhood, obesity and diabetes is on an all-time high. Health statistics show hundreds of new cases of type 2 diabetes diagnosed every day. And the problem is many people have it and they don't even know it. 20.8 million people in the United States have diabetes, and over 14 million are even unaware that they have the disease. It is unbelievable, my friends. So we can do something about this. That's the good news. We can do something about it. And the obesity problem in many countries is over 56% of the people are either overweight or obese. And the latest scientific evidence is also showing that obesity is leading to Alzheimer's and dementia as well. And so it's just amazing when you study some of these chronic diseases, and they are by lifestyle choices. But look, in the United States of America, it is 66.2% overweight or obesity. Because some places in the world bring it down, like China, for example. When I was in China, I had to talk to them about fiber and some other things, but they bring the statistics down. Their weight is down in China, so that brings the statistics down. But in the United States, and in some states, it's even higher than other states. And so, but 66.2% are obese or overweight here in the United States. And according to the latest statistics, 66, it's actually 66.2, because every time I do these graphics, I have to update them because the statistics, can change. But 66.2 of Americans are overweight, with 31 of them being obese. And it's that peripheral fat. It's that fat around the midriff that is the problem. And it's not only in just women, it's in men as well. And so we need to be conscious of that, because according to the World Health Organization, the obesity problem lies in the widespread sedentary lifestyle and a diet overrich in calories and fat. It's a simple thing. It's not as simple. And the older you get, my friends, if you're struggling with this, work on it as soon as possible, because the problem is that the older you get, the harder it gets to lose the weight. And so, and we're going to give you some practical hints that will help you to be able to accomplish some of these goals. And so, and osteoporosis is also on the rise. Osteoporosis is actually, the World Health Statistics show that it affects 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men. It's not only women, it's men. And 50% of the women will get the fractures and 30% of the men. Now, I'm here to tell you also that this can be reversed and controlled, because whatever the statistics are, I know I'm a statistic, because because you see, osteoporosis hits white females small boned. I'm a prime candidate. And just due to age, it keeps going down, down, down. And I said, I have to do something about this. And I had my DEXA scan, my T-scores, and I was right there, not only in osteopenia, but osteoporosis. And I said, I have to do something about this. I started doing weight-bearing exercises, including walking, but also carrying my 3-pound weights and then 5-pound weights, and just exercising, totally on a plant-based diet, because also it's not that dairy doesn't have calcium, but the sulfuric acid pushes the calcium right out and you don't absorb it, and therefore it can lead to some of these diseases like osteoporosis. And so we're pretty strict plant-based vegetarians, but when you're on the road, you say, oh, well, what's a little milk on my cereal or something? And after fighting with this, a physician of mine said to me, try this for 1 year and see what happens and I said, how do you do this on the road? And she said, it's simple. If you can't identify it, don't eat it. In other words, if you don't know that it's an orange, an apple, a banana, a green bean, or whatever, if it's even in a meat, in a vegetarian loaf or meatball, if you don't know what's in there, don't eat it, because just see what will happen. And because, there may be all kinds of things, lots of cheese or dairy or whatever in some of these other even vegetarian foods. So I decided to follow that. And after 1 year, went back, because it was time now for my 2-year DEXA scan, and I gained 10% bone mass. Not only stabilized, but gained 10% bone mass. And I can tell you, I've had some falls just recently even. I slid across the sidewalk, and I did not break one bone. And so I know, my friends, that these things work if we follow them. But osteoporosis, all of these things are on the rise. But the diseases killing people in the 21st century are not new. They were the same things the Egyptians were dying of, that we are dying of today. The same diseases. If you look at it, you have heart disease, arthritis, and also I can add cancer now to this, because it's just been proven from the mummies that they died of cancer as well. The Egyptians died of heart disease, arthritis, high blood pressure, obesity, rheumatism, sexually transmitted diseases, and also cancer. So it's amazing. These aren't new, and the Egyptians didn't follow the laws of health, where the Israelites did, and God said to the Israelites, as you follow my laws, I'll put none of the diseases that are on the Egyptians on you. And that doesn't mean, again, that we don't have hereditary, or some hereditary factors or environmental factors, but it is true that lifestyle choices are the most important. And when people develop all these diseases, they want a cure, right? Give me a pill. I want a pill. I want something to do this. And sometimes it's too late. But let me give you an illustration that might help. There was a famous old monastery situated on the side of a cliff. We just went up one of those monasteries. We didn't go up in a rope, though, but we went up on the stairs. And the monastery overlooked the emerald blue waters of the Mediterranean. We just came back from Israel and Jordan. It was amazing. But a tourist wanted to visit this monastery, this particular one, but there was only one way up. The one problem was that they had to get in this old wicker basket, and it was hoisted up by a rope. Now, we did see that rope and that basket at the top. We didn't go up in that, but we did see it. So I saw it with my very own eyes. And when he got in, he was asking one question, and he said, he said to the one hoisting up the rope, how often do you change the rope? And he answered back, oh, don't worry, we change it every time it breaks. My friends, we smile, but you know what? It's that way with our health. We want to change it when it breaks. When you have heart disease, when you even have cancer, when you have dementia, when you have osteoporosis, when you have, diabetes, we want to change it. We want, especially if it's, if it means life or death, then we really want to change it. But sometimes it's too late. And, it's not going to be a pill that's going to change it. The only pill we need probably is the gospel. And so not a pill, but we need to change. We need God's health assurance plan. That's what we really need. And God has given us great health secrets in his word. He's given us. And I tell you, the Bible's ancient health principles are a universal prescription for wellness. I've done these all over the world. I mean, very difficult places, from Eastern Europe, from communist Europe to China to Africa. And you know what? God is so wonderful. You know why? Because he's no respecter of persons. It doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, where you're from. These work for everybody. They work all around the world. They're not just for here in Indiana. They're not just for America. They work around the world. And so that's what's so exciting. And the accuracy of the Bible is confirmed through medical science. I decided that in my book, this wasn't going to be just the typical laws of health that some of you may know through the New Start program, the Celebration Health program, from the Creation Health program, but that what I needed to do was show how God has already instructed us through the gift of prophecy, through the Bible and gift of prophecy, and then how science is confirming that. And that's what I did in my book. And so it's confirmed by science. It's just so exciting to see that God has a plan. There are no shortcuts. There's no miracle strength pill that we can take. It takes work and it takes discipline. And so a pill isn't going to do it. It's a matter of making good choices. It's a matter of making good choices. And what are those good choices? Well, that's if we want to be living to a healthy 100, then we need to make those good choices. Because we can live to 100. I see people that are living to this. And if you look at the blue zones, and we'll be studying that too, and I have a whole section of that in my book. We can live to that, but we want it to be a healthy 100. And so we can live healthier, happier, and longer. And God has these good principles. He's given us 8 simple principles to achieve better health. And at creation, God placed the first human beings in a garden with adequate exercise, with pure water, with clean air, abundant sunshine, a natural diet, rest of body, and peace of mind, instructing them to exercise self-control, trusting in God. And so here are the true remedies. Let's read it together from Ministry of Healing 127. Pure air, sunlight, abstemiousness, rest, exercise, proper diet, the use of water, trust in divine power. These are the true remedies. These are the true remedies. These are the true laws of health. Yes. Abstemiousness means to be temperate. It means to give up all those things that are harmful to our health and use moderately those things that are good. That's what it really means. And so that's what it is. Abstain from those things that are harmful and use wisely those things that are good. And so here they are. We're going to study these 8 principles here. And you know, when I was developing my book, I said, I'm teaching wellness. And what am I teaching? I'm teaching the 8 laws of health confirmed by science through the spirit of prophecy. But I said, you know, wellness. I was looking for my own acronym because I couldn't take a copyrighted one. And I said, well, what is it? Wellness. And I thought, there it is, water, exercise. I skipped the 2 L's at first, and then I said, there's nutrition, and there's environment with the air, and there's sunshine and sleep. What am I missing? I'm missing trust in God, so love and trust in God. And then I said, abstemiousness, lifestyle, that's what it is. And so I have it all wrapped up in wellness, water, exercise, love, lifestyle, nutrition, environment, sunshine, and sleep. And so we have all of those 8 laws of health. And I'm going to go over those because we want to know how to implement, not only intellectually hear about it, but we want to know how do we implement these laws of health. And so let's start with water. I only have 3 sessions with you, so we're not going to cover everything. If you want more, you can, look at the book. But we're going to cover at least a few. But I want to just refer you to the teeny tips for making changes on the first chapter of on choices, on making positive lifestyle choices. And just to give you an idea of some of these simple things, for example, the teeny tips. Tip number 1, choose to take positive steps to improve your health. That's a good place to start, right? Just choose to make positive steps. And it may not come all at once, but choose to make positive steps. Number 2, determine to be more conscious of following the natural laws of health explained in the coming chapters. So first, choose to make positive steps, and then determine to be more conscious. What are these? We may intellectually know them, but are we putting them into practice? So then, number 3, take responsibility for your health choices, recognizing that the decision to change is up to you. It's not up to your husband or your wife or your children or your parents. It's not up to your neighbors or anyone else in the church. It's totally up to you. And then number 4, make a few positive changes immediately. If you know that you're not in harmony with the laws of health, make those immediately. For example, if you're sedentary and you're not walking, determine you may not start with 10,000 steps, but start with at least 3,000 steps. Start somewhere. And so you're beginning to make those positive changes. Then number 5, evaluate the specific area of your life that needs improvement and determine to address them through your lifestyle. And then number 6 is key. Set realistic goals. Set some goals for yourself. I have a goal. I'm going to be determined to drink my water. I have a goal to get those 8-ounce glasses of water every day. I have a goal to get my minimum 10,000 steps and more if I can. and I have certain goals. And so you set those goals. And then number 7, measure your progress. See how you're doing. And then number 8, commit to achieving your goals. So commit to achieving your goals. So that's one on lifestyle choices. And so we have an opportunity to make these lifestyle choices by just choosing to have a good, productive, long, healthy, happy life. That's what it is. So let's go to the first one, water. And I'm just taking a few things. In fact, I even cut my PowerPoint way down knowing I had limited time. So we're just going to cover what we can cover today, and what we don't, we'll cover tomorrow, and we'll go on. But water is the beverage designed for our health. And water is the beverage that God provided to quench our thirst. And water is also a powerful healing agent. In fact, I have one whole section on hydrotherapy, and I am so excited about hydrotherapy because I know it works, that we are developing a new retreat center. We have a church and a health center and a training center, and I've been praying that we could get a retreat center for pastors particularly, but we'll have it for others as well. But we're going to focus in on pastors. They need a place where they can come. And I said, we're going to get a salt jacuzzi even, and we're going to get an infrared sauna, and we're going to get an exercise room, so if it rains, there's no excuse to not go out there and exercise. And we're going to have possibly even a cold tub, so we can have a contrast between the hot and the cold. But I did a whole section in my book on hydrotherapy and how you can do home hydrotherapy. And so all of these things are going to improve your health. I know my husband was determined to have at least 2 or 3 days a week during that 5.5-week period to just do hydrotherapy. And so it's it's really a legacy in this church, because look, we started with Ellen White and her vision in 1863 on the health message, and then starting our sanitariums in Battle Creek, and Dr. Kellogg doing all this hydrotherapy is just also, it's a powerful healing agent. Water brings healing to the body, whether it is on the inside or out. So why is water so important? It's, adults are 60% water by weight, so we have a lot of water. And then the brain is 85% water by weight. And then the blood is 90% water by blood. So we're made up of a lot of water, and we need that water put back in when it's depleted. So water is very important. And so water is needed for every function of life, for respiration, digestion, flexibility, all kinds of things. We need water, but sometimes we're not as conscious of drinking or using water. I feel that it's one of the greatest remedies for health. It's amazing. Water is essential for efficient circulation of the blood, and it's that circulation of the blood that is so important. So we need that water. So let's look at just a few healthful benefits of water. All right, it improves digestion, it purifies the blood, it enhances circulation, it eliminates those toxins that we imbibe every day just by living here in this world, and it increases energy. And so, wow, if you want more energy, drink more water. Just amazing how powerful water is. If I ever feel like I'm getting sick, and I very rarely ever get sick, but if I do, I get in that shower or that hot bath, and hot and cold, and take those treatments. And even every day, just as preventive, I take a shower in the morning with hot and cold every day, and then take either a warm bath at night or another hot shower, only hot at night. But water, it's a powerful remedy. Water treatments have healing advantages. It's just amazing. And water builds the immune system. And if we want to live longer and healthier, we need a strong immune system. So we have hot and cold. 2 to 3 minutes hot, 30 seconds cold, repeat at least 3 times and end with cold. It's as simple as that. And I do that every single day. Every single day, no matter where I am in the world. Now, it was a little difficult when I was in the Philippines because I had to take a bucket of water and have it poured over me, but I warm that water and I put the warm water and then I do the cold. So you just look at your circumstances, and we're pretty privileged here in this country because we have all the things that we need. It's a little more challenging when you go to some of the places like Africa and you don't have all those things. I told them in Africa, we were just in Tanzania. I was giving the health programs. They were so excited about it. And I told them, just get one of those buckets and dump down in that bucket. And so, you just got to do what you have to do in some of these countries. But water will build the immune system. This clicker is giving us problems here. But drinking a lot of water also improves the memory. To remain active, we must have water. And reports indicate that long-term dehydration may even contribute to Alzheimer's disease. And that's another thing and a problem with elderly people. Somehow they're not drinking enough water. And how much water do we need? We're going to go over that. So how much water do we really need? Well, we get more alcohol and more soft drinks than we often have water. More coffee, more alcohol, more of these other drinks. But look, the consumption of soft drinks is going up. A staggering 90% of the world's population consumes caffeinated soft drinks. It doesn't matter where I go in the world. They have a lot of soft drinks. In fact, when we were in India and I was giving health programs there, I decided to go down. I go down in the market wherever I am so I can see what's going on and be, more practical in my health lectures. And so I went down and I filled a bag with just junk food. I mean, from junk foods and sugary foods to sodas and all of that. And I put it in one bag. And then I put all the good things, because they have good things. They had, lots of fruits, and they had vegetables, and they had all these things. I put it in another bag. And I said, which do you think is most expensive? And I pulled out all the things. Do you know what? The junk food bag was more expensive than the good foods. But yet they have all these soft drinks everywhere we go in the world. And 9 of 10 people all over the world are drinking these caffeine soft drinks. And many Adventists too, drinking them. But that's the one thing in my health programs I share. If you want to be healthy, just get rid of it. Just eliminate. I see literally people going out with their wagons, the grocery wagons, and they're filled with soft drinks. What about soft drinks and other beverages? Well, does it matter what I drink if they all contain water? Well, it does. The body uses water in all its forms, but these beverages pose many, many problems. The real truth about soft drinks is that they are detrimental to our health. They're detrimental to our health. And the caffeine ones are really bad. So what are some of the health risks? Or they pose a health risk. And soft drinks are, yes, detrimental to our health. They propose health risks. And we're going to have to work on this clicker here because it's not working. Oh, let's go back because I want to show this one if we can. Going to have to ask for another. All right. From Harvard School of Public Health, they reported a study of 40,000 men for 2 decades, and they found that those who averaged 1 can of sugary beverage per day had a 20% higher risk of even a heart attack. So when would you equate soft drinks with even heart disease? But studies are coming out today that are showing that these things are risky. And Soft drinks contain large amounts of sugar. A 20-ounce bottle of soda may contain up to 36 sugar cubes. It's amazing when you think about all the sugar and chemicals. Sugar weakens the immune system. And I just read another study that is linking, and sometimes we have the links, but then we need to have the documented study, but that's linking some of the sugar because of obesity to Alzheimer's. It's just amazing when we see all of these things. And sugar reduces the ability to fight disease. And there's no vitamins, there's low minerals, you have a little bit because of your even water, and high empty calories and high sugar. And so that's what we have in these soft drinks. So the vitamins and minerals are down, but my friends, the calories are up. We could just eliminate a lot of calories by that one thing. Okay, we'll cover one more. When should we drink water? Well, it's best to drink this water in between meals. Just take a good drink of that refreshing water in between meals. Why? Because when you're drinking with your meals, that water needs to be absorbed before the digestion starts. So it's best to have 30 minutes before your meal and 2 hours after a meal. You will find a difference in your health just with that one simple thing. I start with 2 glasses every morning, and sometimes 4. I'm up to 4 oftentimes in the morning. And that warm water, not cold, because again, if you drink that ice cold water, it has to warm up to your body temperature before the digestive processes start as well. And so start with 2. Drinking plenty of water helps promote wellness. So here's some teeny tips, just some quick ones on that. To have water on the inside, drink 2 glasses. And I have even a few more in my book, but drink 2 glasses of warm water when arising in the morning. Drink 30 minutes before each meal or 2 hours after each meal. And even carry your bottle of water with you. Because you know why? If you don't calculate it, if you're not conscious of what you're drinking, and you think back over the day, you might come up and say, I only had 3 glasses of water today. Or I only had 4 glasses of water. And so carrying that water bottle with you will help. And then drink 8 8-ounce glasses of water daily. Okay, I think our time is up, but any questions? And then we're going to continue tomorrow. I hope this is helpful and motivational for you, because I want you to be motivated to do these things. Any questions or that you may have? I think we're supposed to stop at 10:30, right? So, yes. Okay, yes, someone over here. Yes, sir. Oh, diet drinks. Yes, I have some studies on it. I didn't put them up here today, but it's showing that it is just as bad, because they are actually some of the different things they're using in the diet drinks, and they're showing there's basically maybe you have a few less calories, but there are still some detrimental problems. And what is happening, there's another study that was just recently reported, where actually if you're drinking diet drinks, you actually crave more, so you're drinking more. You're drinking more of the diet sodas than you do even the regular sodas. And so that they're saying it's actually contributing heavily to obesity because of that reason. And that's a new study. I have a number of things. In my book that will share some of those things and some of those studies. Yes. Yes, that's why I'm getting a salt jacuzzi, because the salt is the best. It's the most helpful. And the chlorine obviously kills the germs. And I suppose if you're getting that occasionally and you're getting a treatment, that's something. But I'm choosing to go with the salt, just because I know it's natural. I've read a lot about it, and the only downside of the salt jacuzzis versus the regular jacuzzis is that it's more expensive up front. And I'm willing to say, Lord, I'm willing to do it for the health retreat and for the health of our pastors and others, to pay a little more up front. And the upkeep is much less as well, because you only have to do it about once, a month or so versus every couple of months for your regular jacuzzi. Yes, sir.
Our new $17 million wellness center at Andrews has a salt pool and a salt jacuzzi.
Hey, that's great. Salt pool and salt jacuzzi. I'm convinced that's the way to go, and that's the way we're going with our health center. I'll take just a couple more questions, and then we got to stop. Yes. Okay. It's best if you don't have that plastic, in bottled water, and it's nice to have a filter. And some are saying, I've been studying this, and I don't know what's the best, so I can't tell you. There's reverse osmosis, and there's the Kangen water, and there's all these other things. I'm still doing some study to see which one is the best, but probably some filtered water. But if we can get, in fact, for our center, I'm getting all glass, the glass or the stainless steel bottles, not the plastic bottles. Okay, and there was one more question over here, and that, yes.
I was going to ask about the water too, the bottled water. They have spring water and they have pure
This,
water. Is there difference in that?
right, the spring water is good. I mean, the point for you today, my friends, is this: drink water. Drink water. Because, it is good if we can have some good filtered water, and spring water is good. And there's a lot of controversy on the different types of water. I'm still in the mode of seeing which one is the very best. But I do think that if we can get into glass or stainless steel rather than the plastic, it's probably better. It is better. And so, but we'll discuss some more things. I'm going to just stop right there for today, and we're going to pick up tomorrow on some more things that I think will be very helpful. We're going to get into some exercise tomorrow. In fact, I was hoping to do that a little bit today, but because we're at the end of the day and I see my husband coming forward for his class, we need to have prayer. And so, in fact, Pastor Finley, why don't you come up and pray with us as we end this class, and they take a little break before your class.
Sure, we'll have a 10-minute break, and then we go into our next class. So let's stand together and pray. Father in heaven, we thank you for these bodies of ours that are finely tuned, infinite engineering marvels given to us by the Creator. It's our desire to cooperate with you and follow the laws of life and health that are written in every nerve and tissue of our body. And the health we receive from the gifts that you've given us of good water and a good diet and exercise and sunshine and fresh air and rest, those gifts of health that we receive from doing the best we can by your strength and power to follow these natural laws, we want to give that health back to you in service and blessing to others. In Christ's name, amen. We'll take about a 10-minute break, and then at 10:40 we have our next